All right, let's talk about the benefits of fitness physically and mentally. And today on our panel is Marquis fitness columnist and celebrity fitness guest who is late, who just showed up right now. I'm going to call you out, Brent. You know, I am going to challenge you to a burpee
I knew
challenge
you would say something.
because you know it. We're going to do that burpee challenge. It's so good to see you. And my dearest friend who does polar dips, fun fitness segments, and recently featured in Brent's column, Nicole Servinis. So wonderful to see you, sweetie. And Sonia Bixma, I absolutely adore you. CTV's Your Morning and eTalk, who is also being featured in the fall issue with Brent's column. So it is wonderful to see all of you. I feel like we should work out right now and
You know what? Let's do it. Let's bang out some burpees right now.
You're right. In my pajama pants.
I'm too dressed up for that.
I agree, Sonia. Your hair looks absolutely amazing. Brent, you know, you've been part of this magazine since the beginning when it became national. A lot has changed with everyone in terms of how they do fitness through this time. I mean, I remember when everyone was picking up banana bread before anything else. And then there was this change where everyone was starting to do fitness and thinking about health again. I mean, your business, we just heard from Stage 3, is going to be opening up very soon. What do you think it is now? People are going to be transitioning more into feeling more healthy and focusing on themselves.
Absolutely. It's about, I've seen two examples. So some people have been hardcore with fitness over COVID and have actually improved their fitness by doing, outdoor training and all these types of things that they can do. But there's a lot of people, of course, majority that have gone a little bit downhill on their fitness or, haven't done it as much because they haven't had access to it, et cetera. So I think there's going to be a big rush and happiness about getting back into the gym or even having, classes and things like that more accessible. And, people are eager. Summer's here and, people are eager to get back in shape and to feel really healthy again. And I'm excited, actually.
And how excited are you to open up your gym?
Yes, very, very excited. I just got the text this morning from a friend of mine. I'm in Calgary, by the way, right now. I did a Rocky Mountain road trip with my son, going from Vancouver to Calgary. Yeah, so we finally ended up in Calgary now after 2 weeks. It was amazing. So speaking of fitness, a lot of outdoor training and that sort of thing. But when I got the notification today, I was excited. Yeah.
I love that.
And it's totally opposite out here. Everything's like no restrictions, masks optional. And so, progressing in the right direction for Ontario.
Yeah, I'm really excited for you. I'll be at your gym very soon, and you can get me going.
All three of you. We should do we'll do a little workout. We'll be coming.
Brent's really hard. He's harsh, man. He makes you go. And Nicole, abs of steel. I mean, you have had fitness since the beginning. You have a passion for it, and we can see that when you're on your social media. And I love that about you. But there's benefits physically, but also emotionally, right? What does it mean for you mentally to be able to work out and feel that energy?
So much. I mean, I grew up being super active because I danced for like 18 years of my life. And so for me, it was not realizing it, I think, at a very young age. Not only was it a physical fitness element to my life, but it was an emotional release for me. That's what dance was. That was that medium that I could kind of express that. And then when I stopped dancing, it was like, now what do I do? And that's when I kind of really dived into going to the gym and experiencing different forms of fitness, whether it's like meditation or yoga or Pilates or boxing. There's all these different things that kind of I turn to get that same fulfillment, just in a different way. And mentally does so much. And I can just speak like for myself, and I think a lot of other people that during the pandemic, it was really hard and it was really lonely and it's tough to be motivated. And that was probably the hardest thing. It was like committing to yourself that on this day, even though you're not leaving your house, you're going to do something active. You're going to break a sweat and do it. And for me, it was almost like scheduling it in, like having to write it down and commit to it. And I find that, and continuing to do that, if I do that, then I stick to it. If you start making excuses for yourself of, oh, no, it's okay, I don't have to do it because, I'm feeling a little bit tired today, or, I'll get it in tomorrow. Like it's so easy to then spiral downwards. It's so easy because you don't have your membership to hold you accountable. Or you don't have your ticket in here, So it definitely helps to kind of go through that. But like you said, like I just can't wait to get back to the gym, to work with trainers like Brent, who's incredible, and to get my butt back into it. Because again, there's nothing like it. Like Sangita, I know you're the same way. It's like that push. I mean, you do it yourself, and that's always great. But it's another element sometimes when you get that person yelling at you, telling you one more because you think you can do it. But then the other person, Brent, you're infamous for this. You're saying, no, 5 more because I know you can do it. I'm like, no, I can't. And then you do it.
Yeah, those full reps become half reps by the end of your you don't complete it. And Sonia, I mean, you're so busy right now. Congratulations on all your success and your sweet little girl. You know, talking from mother to mother, one of the things I've noticed is women are having a hard time making themselves a priority. And it's so important to have that focus on yourself, you know, physically and mentally. How do you make sure that you are helping yourself and bringing yourself forward as a priority in your life?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, Sangita, because, you know, it was interesting hearing hearing you talk earlier about balance, right? Like we're always striving for balance, but I've just kind of let that word go. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that word means. It doesn't apply to my life. It's literally like a day-to-day basis for me. And yeah, I raised my daughter alone. I have been for the last 5 years now. I've got 2 shows on the go, but kind of like Nicole, you know, I've danced from a very early age. I did Indian classical dance, Kathak in India. That's where I was born and raised. And then when I moved to Canada at the age of 9, that translated into jazz and hip hop for me. But it's interesting because I didn't realize how much fitness actually did for me until last year when it was an unfortunate situation. My daughter and I were hit head on by a drunk driver, and my right leg, I couldn't use it for 2 months. And that's when I realized, like, not being able to move, like the things that you just sort of take for granted, right? But then not being able to move and do nothing for 2 months, I went into severe depression. I had never suffered from depression before. I'd never been into a dark place like that. But now I can actually relate to people who say that they have been to that place or continue to. And to be able to have that release for me again has been perhaps one of the most important things that I feel like I now cherish. And my daughter has always known that, right? Like I have photos of her as a newborn in like a baby Bjorn, and there I am doing squats with the other mamas at the park. So her seeing me do fitness has always been like a normal. But it's funny because now I communicate it to her. She's now 10, and I say, okay, mommy needs to go for half an hour. I just need to like release some stuff. So now if she doesn't see me working out, she's like, mommy, don't you need to work out? Before it was like, hey, mommy, where's your wine? I was like, okay, we need to fix this. I need to set a better example here. So now she's like, aren't you going to exercise today? I'm like, well, matter of fact, I am. So I didn't realize how much my mind thrives when I am active. And when I thrive, my daughter thrives, my dog thrives, everybody around me thrives. And that has been the biggest learning curve for me from last year.
I'm sorry about the accident. I did not know you were in an accident. Well, you know, going back to that, you realized that you were going through depression. How did you acknowledge that you were going through it, and how did you come out of it?
I realized that I was going through it because I'm somebody who doesn't easily get sad. I don't get sad very easily. I'm a very optimistic person. I always have been. But when you get to a point where you just don't want to get out of bed, but you have to because you have this little person to take care of, and you've got a job to do, and you've got to feed yourself and your little human that you've been gifted with, you kind of go, okay, well, I have to. And that's when I recognized it. And, you know, I'm so lucky. I have so many amazing girlfriends, and they saw it. They're like, dude, something is not right with you. So I seeked help, right? I seeked help. I recognized it. I knew that I couldn't be physical. So I had to find a different outlet. And the different outlet for me at the time was talking to somebody and maybe perhaps trying, like, you know, a little bit of expensive whiskey. I'm just being real, right? You've got to take care of yourself in all areas and just recognize that. And that really was a huge outlet for me. But then as soon as I got the go to be active, I cherish every time I can hop on my Peloton. I still can't do a lot of HIIT. My leg still acts up, but I can do yoga. I've discovered this new love for yoga. So it's just been this whole new journey that I'm just so thankful for.
And you learn so much. Wow. Brent, you know, fitness is your life. You know, it's something that we always see with you. Did you in any way not do fitness? Did you not focus on it at all during this time? Did you have that banana bread moment?
You know, when I had to close down, and I didn't know what we were gonna, like, you know, we serviced a whole bunch of clients on a team, and all of a sudden, what are we gonna do? So,
right.
You know, I did go into panic mode for a second there, because that is my life, and I felt like it was stripped away from me. So, you know, I had a moment where I was a little bit scared, and then I thought to myself, you know, and I always tell people this, I always go back to my purpose, and you know, my purpose is to inspire people through fitness. And you know, then I started doing the online Move at Noon classes every day of the week. I did it, actually, and that, you know, as much as it did for other people, I got great feedback, and it was so I was so shocked at how many people really, you know, caught on to that and are still doing it today. But it did just as much for me as it did for everybody else. You know, I think if I didn't have that outlet, and I didn't have like, I had access to my gym still, obviously I could go work out. If I didn't have all that, yeah, I might have lasted a little longer. Like, I would have probably been a little bit down. But yeah, you know, it was an opportunity for me to get online, you know, as we all do now, but and really sort of, you know, reach people much further than I was, and you know, reach communities that I have never reached before. So there's the positive out of it, is that for sure. But I remained pretty active. Like, it's something, just like you said, Sonia. It's like, you know, if I don't do it, I feel terrible. Like, if I take a couple of days and I don't exercise, even if it's just, it doesn't have to be a long workout, even 20 minutes of something or a run, I don't feel good. You know, I don't feel myself. I don't think as clearly. And we all know that, you know, that brain health is also, exercise is also tightly linked to brain health in a variety of ways as well. And we talked about mental health. I mean, you know, exercise is, I always say this, is the #1 drug in the world, and it's essentially free. Right? It's, you know, it's not going to cure cancer and everything, but it really does make a positive impact, as we know, in so many ways. And that's why it's always been something for me. You know, I grew up in British Columbia, and I was always outside doing stuff. So it's always been part of it's in my blood, and I see it in my son now. You know.
Oh, that's so great. He's learning from you.
What's that?
He's learning. He's learning
from me. Yeah. Well, he has to. he's sitting in the corner right now. We're in a hotel right now, but. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Like, this kid can run 10 kilometers now, you know, and he basically grew up in the gym. Oh yeah, we were trail running and then hiking some crazy, and every time I'm shocked. I'm like, what? I can't believe you're doing this. So it's really neat to see, and you know, but there's that within everybody. There's that, you know, inner athlete, or that, you know, as you mentioned, if you get pushed a little bit further, you might not think you can do something, but you know, you actually can. And those steps are small for some people, but they are progressive, right? You can always better yourself. And what exercise does for, you know, your mind is amazing. I mean, I go for a run. Like, running is you know, it's basically active meditation for me. I don't really run necessarily as much for fitness these days. I run to, you know, get the stress out, or I just feel, you know, very clear with my thought process, and I come back so relaxed, and I can get focused on work and that sort of thing too.
That's amazing.
The wonder drug.
I hate running, man. I hate running, Brent.
I hate running.
I hear that from so many people. But you know, I've seen so many people who have converted to running. It's one of those things. I mean, as long as you got a pair of running shoes, no matter where you are in the world, you can just get out and run. You know.
The only run I ever did was in the Okanagan, and it was from like winery to winery.
Oh!
Swear.
That's funny.
See, now you had a destination. That's where you ran. See, that's
yeah. There you go.
Destination. And Nicole, and for you, Nicole, you're always positive. I love your energy all the time. But I'm sure you were tested too through this. And did you have a learning moment for yourself?
For sure. Like, similar to Brent, I think the initial like lockdown was really shocking. And I really didn't know what to do with myself. I was living alone at the time, and it was kind of the first time I was ever really all by myself, where I I couldn't just like swing by my parents or go see my friends. And I never really had that. And then on top of that, I wasn't working either because they were still trying to figure out technically how we could Zoom from home and how I could still be a part of the show when I was on breakfast television. So there was a lot of things in the mix as to like, what's going to happen. Everybody was figuring it out real time because we have a daily show, right?
Yeah.
And so with that, it was like I woke up and it felt like I have no purpose. And without that, it was really challenging for me mentally to kind of be motivated to move when really like it was like, why am I going to do this? I have no reason. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not seeing anything. So there was a couple of days where I really a tough time. And then it was a moment of realizing like, you know, there's a lot of people in the same boat right now. Let's like, I want to use this as an opportunity to relate to people, even if it's through a screen, because there's got to be other people feeling the way that I'm feeling right now. And I think that online community was really super helpful during that difficult time for me personally. And same thing, it was like Brent, it was like, okay, followers, like whoever wants to move today, like let's move. And that was kind of the commitment that I tried to make as well, because not only did it help with other people I know, like hold them accountable, but the same thing that they did that for me. It was like, I made that commitment to myself and to do that for them. And it was just, the online community was amazing, super supportive. And again, like when you're all alone, literally there's no one around, it's easy to get caught in with your thoughts and kind of feel low. Yeah. And mental, again, like similar to Sonia saying that, like I'm normally a really positive person and I've never really struggled with mental health in the way that I think this year has been. And a lot of people wouldn't assume that from me because I mean, we put on a smile every day, right? In front of everybody, but everyone has their own things going on that people don't necessarily know about. And fitness and that sharing that with the online community, again, was super helpful and a great outlet for me.
Oh, I love you guys. I've learned so much from all of you. And thank you for being here talking about fitness. We'll have another group chat, a table talk very soon.
Workout.
I hope.
Workout. Yes, let's do it.
Sonia will bring the wine and I'll bring the
abs.
cake.
I want Sangita and Nicole's abs together, friend. That's my goal.
Let's see what we can do.
Love you guys.
Love you
so
guys.
much.
All right,
Take
guys.
care.
All the best.